If someone asked you right now whether your eyesight is the same as it was 5 years ago, what would you actually say? You already know the answer. You feel it every single evening when the sun goes down and the road ahead turns into a smear of headlights and shadows. You used to drive at night without thinking. Now you grip the steering wheel a little tighter. You lean forward a little further. And there is this moment every time where a car comes towards you and the glare hits your eyes, and for 2, maybe 3 seconds, you cannot see anything at all. Your heart pounds. Your foot hovers over the brake, and then it passes and you exhale and you tell yourself it is fine. But it is not fine, and you know it. Maybe it is not the driving, maybe it is the words on the medicine bottle that you have to hold at arm's length now. Maybe it is your granddaughter's face across the dinner table that is just slightly less sharp than it was last Christmas. Maybe it is the name. The name you know. It is right there, sitting on the edge of your tongue, and it will not come. Your neighbor's name, your doctor's name, the name of the restaurant you went to last month that you loved. And you stand there frozen and something cold runs through your chest because you have watched this exact thing happen to someone you love and you swore it would never happen to you. Your doctor ran the tests. Your doctor said your eyes are fine for your age. Your doctor said the memory lapses are normal. And you sat in that office and nodded and smiled, and inside you were screaming because normal for your age is not an answer. It is a dismissal. It is a white flag. And after 22 years in neurovascular surgery, after operating on the very blood vessels that feed the human brain and the human eye, I can tell you with absolute certainty they are wrong. What your doctor called normal is not inevitable. It is not permanent, and it is not even complicated to address. But what if I told you that the connection between your fading vision and your slipping memory is not a coincidence? What if they share the exact same root cause, a cause that accelerates every single night while you sleep? And what if 3 specific dried fruits, eaten in the right combination at the right time before bed, could directly target that cause and begin reversing both problems simultaneously? That is exactly what I'm going to show you today. By the end of this video, you will know the precise biological mechanism linking your eyes and your brain, the 3 dried fruits backed by published clinical research, and the exact evening protocol, amounts, timing, combinations to start tonight. I am Dr. Harmoon, and this is information your doctor should have given you years ago. Drop your country in the comments right now. I read every single one. Vision and memory loss affect people everywhere, and I want to see where this community is watching from. Let me explain what is actually happening inside your body, because once you understand this, everything changes. Your eyes and your brain share something critical. They are the 2 most blood vessel dense organs in your entire body. Your retina alone contains more capillaries per square millimeter than almost any other tissue you have. And your brain, which weighs roughly 3 pounds, consumes 20% of every drop of blood your heart pumps. These are hungry organs, ravenous organs, and they depend entirely on one thing, the health of the microscopic blood vessels that feed them. Here is where the science gets genuinely interesting. There is a process happening in your body right now called oxidative stress. Think of it like rust forming on the inside of a pipe. Oxygen passes through your blood vessels billions of times a day, and every time it does, it leaves behind tiny fragments called free radicals. When you were 35, your body had an army of antioxidants that swept through and cleaned up those fragments before they could do damage. But after 60, that army shrinks. The cleanup crew retires, and the rust builds. It builds on the walls of the capillaries feeding your retina. It builds on the vessels feeding your hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. The walls thicken, the openings narrow. Less blood gets through, less oxygen arrives, less glucose arrives, and the cells on the other side, the cells that let you see your grandchild smile, the cells that hold your daughter's phone number, the cells that store the name of your street, those cells begin to starve. I want to tell you about Arthur. Arthur, 73, a retired postman who walked 8 miles a day for 31 years and could name every family on his route. He came into my office because his wife had noticed something he had not. He was putting the milk in the cupboard instead of the refrigerator. He was reading the same page of the newspaper 3 times without realizing it. And when he drove to the supermarket, A route he had taken 500 times, he missed the turning. Twice. In 1 week. His eye exam showed early macular thinning. His cognitive screening showed a mild decline in short-term recall. 2 different specialists, 2 different diagnoses. Nobody connected them. Dr. Harmoon, he said, sitting across from me, looking visibly defeated, they keep telling me these are 2 separate problems. But I can feel it. Something is shutting down, and it is all connected. Arthur was right, and the research proves it. A study published in the journal Neurology in 2021 found that adults over 60 with early-stage macular degeneration were 46% more likely to develop measurable cognitive decline within 5 years compared to those with healthy retinas. 46%. The eyes and the brain are not separate systems failing independently. They are the same system failing from the same cause, microvascular oxidative damage, and it accelerates at night. During sleep, your brain enters a phase called glymphatic clearance. Think of it like a dishwasher cycle for your brain. Cerebrospinal fluid rushes through the spaces between your brain cells and flushes out the metabolic waste that accumulated during the day, including beta amyloid, the protein fragment linked to Alzheimer's disease. But here is the part nobody tells you. That cleaning system depends on healthy blood vessels to function. If the vessels are narrowed, if the walls are thickened with oxidative damage, the flush is incomplete. The waste stays. The damage compounds, night after night after night, and every morning your memory is a little less sharp, your vision is a little less clear, not because you are old, because the cleanup crew cannot get to the job site. Be completely honest right now. Have you noticed your night vision getting worse in the past year? Write yes or no in the comments. Because if you have, what I'm about to share is especially critical for you. Now let me show you the 3 dried fruits that directly target this mechanism. Not with vague antioxidant claims, not with eat healthy and hope for the best. With specific compounds, studied in specific doses, published in specific journals. And all 3 of them are probably sitting in your local grocery store right now. The first dried fruit is the one I consider the most powerful, and it is tragically overlooked. Dried goji berries. Goji berries contain the highest concentration of a carotenoid called zeaxanthin of any food ever measured. Zeaxanthin is not just an antioxidant, it is a precision antioxidant. It does something almost no other compound in your diet does. It crosses the blood-retinal barrier and deposits directly into the macula, the exact spot in your eye responsible for sharp central vision. Think of it like a security guard that does not patrol the whole building. It stands at the one door that matters most and neutralizes every attacker that tries to enter. A randomized controlled trial published in Optometry and Vision Science in 2011 gave adults over 65 just 28 grams, roughly a small handful, of dried goji berries daily for 90 days. The result was a 57% increase in zeaxanthin plasma levels and measurable improvement in macular pigment optical density. That means the protective layer inside their eyes physically thickened. And here's the part that connects to your brain. Zeaxanthin also crosses the blood-brain barrier. A 2017 study in the Journal of the International Neuropsychological Society found that higher zeaxanthin levels correlated with a 33% improvement in processing speed and episodic memory in adults over 60. The dose is simple: 28 grams of dried goji berries. That is about 2 tablespoons. Every evening, 30 minutes before bed. But wait, it gets darker because goji berries protect the gateway. The second dried fruit repairs the wiring. Dried figs. Most people think of figs as a digestive aid. They are. But that is like saying a hospital is a building with chairs. It is technically true and it misses the point entirely. Dried figs contain one of the highest concentrations of polyphenols of any dried fruit, specifically a compound called rutin. Rutin is a flavonoid that directly strengthens the walls of capillaries and small blood vessels. Think of it like a plasterer who goes through your house and seals every hairline crack in the walls before they become structural failures. The capillaries feeding your retina and your hippocampus are thinner than a human hair. When their walls weaken, they leak, microbleeds, tiny, invisible, cumulative, and every one of those microbleeds leaves behind a small patch of tissue that no longer receives oxygen. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition in 2015 found that daily fig consumption in adults over 60 reduced markers of vascular inflammation by 38% and improved endothelial function, the ability of blood vessel walls to flex and regulate blood flow, by 27% over 8 weeks. The dose is 3 to 4 dried figs, roughly 40 grams eaten with your goji berries in the evening. Together they create a 1-2 combination. One protects the destination, the other repairs the road. Pay very close attention here. This is where most people go wrong. The third dried fruit is not about protection or repair, it is about fuel, dried walnuts. And yes, I know walnuts are technically a nut, not a fruit, but when they are dried and sold alongside dried fruits, most of my patients buy them in the same aisle, eat them the same way, and the research applies regardless of the botanical classification. So stay with me. Your brain is 60% fat by dry weight. The membranes of every neuron, every cell that fires when you remember your wedding day, your first car, your child's birthday, are built from polyunsaturated fatty acids. And walnuts are the only common tree nut that contains a significant amount of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, an omega-3 fatty acid that your body converts into DHA, the primary structural fat of brain cell membranes. Think of it like replacing cracked, brittle shingles on a roof with new flexible ones that keep the rain out. Every night, during sleep, your brain performs membrane maintenance. It pulls damaged fats out and replaces them with whatever is available in your bloodstream. If the right fats are not there, the brain uses whatever it can find, often inflammatory omega-6 fats from processed food, and the membranes become stiff and unresponsive. A landmark study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging in 2014 followed 447 adults over 65 for 2 years. Those who consumed roughly 30 grams of walnuts daily, about a quarter cup, showed a 31% slower rate of cognitive decline on standardized memory tests and significantly better performance on tasks requiring visual spatial reasoning. 31% slower decline. That is not stopping the clock. That is turning it back. Drop the word clarity in the comments if this is making you think differently about your evening routine. It tells me this information is reaching the right people. Here is the protocol. Every evening, 30 minutes before bed, eat this combination together. 28 grams of dried goji berries, about 2 tablespoons. 40 grams of dried figs, 3 to 4 figs. 30 grams of dried walnuts, roughly a quarter cup broken into halves. You can eat them separately or mix them into a small bowl. Some of my patients chop them together and stir them into a tablespoon of raw honey, which adds a small glycemic boost that helps tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier and supports melatonin production for deeper sleep. That combination is optional but effective. Do not heat them. Do not blend them into a smoothie at night. The fiber structure of the dried fruit slows digestion and creates a sustained release of nutrients over 6 to 8 hours, exactly matching your brain's overnight maintenance window. If you blend them, you break that structure and the nutrients spike and crash. Eat them whole. Eat them slowly and eat them consistently. This is not a one-night remedy. The capillary repair takes weeks. The macular pigment rebuilding takes 60 to 90 days. The membrane replacement in your brain is gradual and cumulative, but it starts tonight. Let me tell you about Dolores. Dolores, 69, a retired piano teacher who could once play Chopin from memory and read sheet music without glasses from across the room. When Dolores came to me, she had stopped playing entirely, not because her hands could not do it, because she could no longer read the notes. The sheet music had become a gray blur. And worse, she was forgetting pieces she had played for 40 years. Her ophthalmologist had diagnosed early dry macular degeneration. Her primary care physician had noted age-appropriate memory changes in her chart. 2 problems, 2 specialists, 0 connection made. Dolores looked at me with tears forming and said, "Dr. Harmoon, music was the only thing that still made me feel like myself, and now I am losing that too." We put Dolores on this exact protocol. Goji berries, figs, and walnuts every evening. We added 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 with her dinner and 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate before bed to support the vascular repair. 90 days later, Dolores called my office. She was crying. "I played Nocturne in E-flat major last night. the whole piece from memory, and I could see the keys clearly. Both things came back. Both of them. That is not magic. That is what happens when you stop the rust, repair the roads, and give the rebuilding crew the right materials at the right time. Your body is not breaking down. It is starving. It has been starving for the specific compounds that your eyes and your brain need to maintain themselves overnight. And nobody gave you the blueprint until now. You have it now. It is not too late. Your retina can rebuild its protective pigment. Your capillaries can repair their walls. Your neurons can replace their damaged membranes. But your body cannot do any of that if the raw materials are not in your bloodstream when the night shift begins. Tonight, they will be. Here is what I need you to do right now. Think of one person, your mother, your partner, your closest friend, someone who has mentioned their vision getting worse or their memory slipping. Send them this video right now, not later, not tomorrow, right now. That single act might change their life more than anything else you do today. If you have not subscribed yet, hit that button now. My mission is bringing you research-backed health information that is accessible, practical, and genuinely life-changing. That is what every video on this channel is built to deliver. In my next video, I am covering the 4 common medications that are silently depleting the one vitamin your retina cannot survive without. And I guarantee at least one of them is in your medicine cabinet right now. You will want to see that. I am Dr. Harmoon, and your health is the only metric that matters. I will see you in the next consultation.